we see this photo that is a mystery in its production because you're not quite sure, as Pastor Paz said, observed in Eastern Versailles, Zumaraga, where she is. And she had made this observation. I thought it was quite interesting. She asked, who is this man? Is it Adam? Is this Adam and Eve? Could this be Adam and Eve that the famous painter is depicting, right? How would you know? Because if you say this is Jesus and Mary Magdalene, then where is his scars? You don't see any scars at all. And he looks like he's just been to Sister Carol's hair salon and gotten a cut and a wash. And, he's been completely sanitized. He doesn't look anything like the man, the suffering lamb, the Lamb of God on on the cross. Okay, so let's take a look at this passage. In Latin, you can see it clearer. He says, "Noli me tangere." That's the name. That's where also Rizal, Jose Rizal, the famous Filipino hero, wrote his book on the resistance of the resistance to Spanish oppression and the independence of the Filipino and the assertion of the Filipino identity, right? So here in Correggio's painting, it depicts Christ as the last Adam. So that's why he's so sanitized, right? He's not a touch, no scar, no wounds from the nails or the spear in his side, right? Bridging humanity to God, establishing a spiritual family relationship through resurrection. Antonio de Correggio's painting Noli me tangere, 1525, we're not sure exactly, but somewhere around the 16th century. So this would be about 100 years before Sir Isaac Newton was born in 1624, right? Beautifully captures this pivotal moment between the risen Christ and Mary Magdalene. The artwork portrays the tension between intimacy and divine mercy, mystery that John's gospel conveys. And indeed, as I say, John begins with a question of what is this prism, right? But then we move on to the declaration in verse 29 in chapter 1, behold the Lamb of God. So the phrase noli me tangere in John chapter 20, verse 17, reminds us that our relationship with the risen Christ transcends physical connection. It is a spiritual reality that transforms our identity and purpose, reminiscent of the words to Thomas, right? Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed, John 20:29. We are now commissioned as Christ's representatives on earth while he intercedes for us in heaven. So Mary was given a task to go and tell the brothers in Galilee that he had risen. So that was her role, right? So let's take a look then at this. Let's read this. Let's read this first line at least.
Lege aute lesus me mo heptu. Says to her Jesus, not me touch.
Okay, so in English, we would not say not me touch, right? That would be kind of like pygmy English. But it would be touch me not, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and Jesus says to her, touch me not. So when we're doing the translations, just reconvert that into normal English language. All right, good, very good. Go ahead.
Opo gar anabebeka proston patera. Not yet, not yet, for I have ascended to the Father.
So for is correct. For I have, then you put in the upal there, right? For I have not yet ascended
And not yet
to the
ascended.
Father, to the Father. Okay. It sounds as though there's a mission here for Jesus that he hasn't completed. There's some sort of unfinished business here. Okay, carry on.
Okay. Poreu de prostus adelphos moke epe Antonis. Go, however, to the brother of me and say to them.
So the Hebraism here is very clear. These are Hebrew scriptures, although they're written in Greek, because everywhere you've got these Hebraisms, little Hebraisms, like for example here, the brothers of me, right? That would be literal Hebrew, right? The brothers of me. Whereas in English, we would say, my brothers, go to my brothers. Okay, carry on.
Anabaino proston patera muke patera himon. I am ascending to the Father of me and Father of you.
Yeah, so very mysterious language, isn't it? Why did he say my father and your father? Okay. We have compiled a series of lessons to be examined in the Greek club, and we will pass these on to your leaders that will form the content. So it will not just be studying John chapter 1 verse, the first 18 verses, but that will be one of those scriptures. But this is an example here in John 20 verse 17, one of the pieces of the puzzle that we'll be looking at in our Greek club or our Greek department of Greek. All right, carry on. Last line. Well done so far.
Ke theon mu ke theon himon. And to God of me and God of you.
I'm ascending to my Father and your Father, he says to her, to my God and to your God. Okay. So I suppose this is something that we need to be aware of, that there's something special about the speaker of these words. He's is this just a Hebraism? My God, your God, my father, your father. Is that just the way that the Hebrews speak, or is he trying to convey something else about his identity versus the identity of Mary Magdalene and the rest of the Ecclesia, what will eventually become the early church, right? So this is in the garden. Let's go back to that picture. Let's take a look at that picture one more time. This is in the garden, and you're looking at an instant where there's an interaction. The immediate resurrection of Jesus prompts a sort of a beatific vision of Jesus in his perfection. It's like all the colors of the rainbow here. That's why I think Correggio has painted it in such brilliant oranges and yellows and blues and greens and browns, and it's like idyllic. It's almost perfect. That's why Pastor Paz was saying, "Oh, is this Eden?" Or is this, it looks like some sort of a paradise. And in fact, it is a kind of a paradise. But okay, let's go back then to John chapter 1, verse 29. And let's see if we can make any sense of this passage here. Let's look at this verse. It says, the next day he saw Jesus coming toward him and said, behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. Right? Who is this person that is described as the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world? Okay, so when we are dealing with the coming of Jesus, when we're talking about the Messiah coming, the long-awaited Jewish Messiah, right? Here, John identifies the Messiah in a very specific way that you would never understand. A Jewish person could never understand. They thought that the Messiah would be coming on a white horse with armies. But it's a distinctively Christian interpretation of literally the end of the world, what was considered as the day of the Lord, right? Where I shall smite the earth with a curse, right? The last verse in the Old Testament, in Malachi, right? It says that he will send Elijah the prophet to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I strike or smite the earth with a curse, right? So they're expecting their Messiah to come in and smite the earth with a curse on a white horse to destroy the Romans, right? But instead, they see a lamb, and not only that, but the lamb is slain. Well, do we have any precedent of this in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew scriptures? And the answer is yes, in Isaiah 53. But